Welcome to Land Academy. This is the Cash Flow from Land show. We show you how to buy real estate for half of what it's worth
and sell it on the internet really fast.
I'm Jack Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit. We are Jack and Jill, and this is the Jack and Jill Show too.
With over 15,000 completed transactions, we're the experts at acquiring property
Of all kinds, not just land.
for half price and flipping them for way more.
All right, let's get this show started.
Jack Butala with Jill DeWit.
Hi.
Welcome to our show. In this episode, Jack and I talk about REI with your full-time job. Real estate investment, but you have a regular full-time job. What do you do? Great show today, Jill. Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on successplant.com, our free online community.
I have to say something. You know, you just said Jack and I.
Oh my gosh, no.
I think that's funny.
What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
What's going on in my head?
It's early. It's okay.
We record these shows at like
middle of the week. It's a
6
Wednesday. It's early, so it's all good. I just made me giggle because I'm like,
Jack
that's
and
fun.
I.
It's Jack
Should
and
I
I.
start over?
Yeah, Jack and I. No, gosh, no, keep it.
Oh my God, don't do it
You
again.
cannot. No,
oh my
don't
God,
start again.
Dad, don't do it again.
Shucks.
Please stop.
No, yeah, it's all. Everybody's laughing right now. You just woke everybody. Everybody's up. It's okay. It's
All right,
cute.
good.
Okay. The question is, Jared asked. So I just found a county. Low population, vacation dense destination in the state, good access, but it has high prices on land and only 2 properties are for sale on the tax sale list. Is this one I should run from?
Oh, this is a good question.
Yep.
It is a great question, and the answer is absolutely not. I think you've probably found gold, maybe silver, maybe not gold, but silver. This comes up a lot, but it doesn't really come up in this package like this. It comes up like this: does the package work or your program work? Send a lot of offers out in the mail for other product types. Does it work for houses? Does it work for apartments? Does it work for skyscrapers? Does it work in a city? Do you have to be in a rural location? And here's the answer, because this is what he's really asking. Yeah, it worked great, but don't offer $500. Make sure you offer intelligent amounts of money where you can double your money. A lot of our members use it. Jill and I use this program on residential houses, and we just need to make $10,000 on each property. So we might spend $150,000 to buy a property. Well, we know we're going to make $10,000, and we know who's going to buy it. We have a buyer that long before we're putting a program together that talks all about that. What Jared's asking is, hey, this isn't the exact same model that you guys talk about, where you offer $100 an acre for property that's west of the Mississippi, and you see what comes back. No, it takes a little bit more planning, a little bit more, analysis, and correctly making offers that are nonetheless undervalue. And it works like a charm. I have a specific member in Florida that does this for what he calls canal lots. And they're $300,000 lots, and he offers $100,000. Does a lot of deals.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Did that answer it, Joe?
Totally.
All right.
Thank you.
Can we move on?
Yes.
Can I call you Jack for the rest of the show?
No. You know what? Welcome. I gotta share this about my world. Oh my goodness. The time that we sit and record these shows is the most that you and I talk, period.
I know.
Because
I get to know you during these times.
I know that. And I don't think you necessarily like that.
I like it. What are you talking about? I don't like it.
Well, because this is what I want to share. This is for our listeners, Jack. So this is not, I'm not throwing you under the bus. This is just welcome to my world.
Don't you love when people say that right before they're going to say something?
I'm not going to throw you under the bus, but I'm going to throw you under the bus. Jack has instructed everyone in our office that one-word answers are by far,
I hate to admit it,
the best.
I hate to admit it, but that's true.
Yes. That's all I'm going to say. So, there we go.
I can't. The follow-up on that is just not worth it.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's, men are like, I just want stuff to be efficient. That's all. Anyway, this is the meat of the show. Real estate investing, REI, with your full-time job.
What? How can you do that? That kid doesn't work. No.
I did it. I did it in the beginning. we could call the show too. Like, when do you know to leave your job? We'll cover that in a minute, but how do you do this all when you have a full-time job? This came up on a consulting call I recently did, and the guy said, every day at the end, and when I'm done with work, I check my phone, I check my voicemail, and I see who called and the whole thing, and I said, whoa, wait a minute. All right, let's talk about how you actually should do this with your full-time job. There's a few keys to this that really are going to dramatically increase your success. You have to have somebody answer the phone, and it's not very expensive. You can find a resource out there pretty easily where someone answers the phone and they say, no, Mr. Smith is not available, I'm sorry. And but he really wants to talk to you. He's available after 6 p.m. today, and I'll give him a message.
There's probably somebody in your world that could do that right now.
Well, in the end, this guy specifically, he and his wife was on the call too, and she's like, I'm happy to do that,
right?
Because she's at home.
So I don't have to make the deals. I'm just going to answer the phone, and there's a voice at the other end, and that's easy.
So, I mean, statistics. This is not just my dream it up. Statistics show that if somebody answers the phone, it's pretty highly changes your percentages of doing the deal. Mm-hmm. So that's one way. And then if you explain to the person that you're doing the deal with that you're available after 6 p.m. or whatever the numbers end up being, and ask that person very nicely if that works for them to arrange to close the transaction. Are they available at that time? Do what I call, this is what Jill does. You make friends with this person, and so you two have an understanding. And then you get the deal done. So I don't think having a full-time job in any way hinders you from this. Should you do 5,500 deals a month with a full-time job? Absolutely not.
Yeah, not by yourself. Anyway, I would love to paint the picture, Jack, of how you were doing it with your full-time job. And then I was going to show how I was doing full-time job, because I think it's funny, and I think it'd be good for people to hear.
Yeah, so I did exactly what I just described. This is in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I didn't actually have anybody answer the phone. From an acquisition standpoint, I chose to, and in a lot of ways I still do choose, to only do deals that come back signed. So there could be, my voicemail box could have 5 million people and answers and all that. I just didn't care to do those deals.
Okay.
My answer was, and it is now to some degree, not doing enough deals, send out more mail. We have members who are not real interested in talking to people like me on the phone endlessly and negotiating and stuff. So I just, so that was my answer.
So, okay, wait, can you even be a little more detailed? Like, okay, so did you go to a job so you would get up and go to your job and then basically come home and check your P.O. box, if you will. What did you use for your mail back then?
I used the exact same mail address that we have now.
Okay, cool.
Literally. It's a mailboxes, et cetera address.
Got it. Okay, so you already had that all set up. So you would check your thing, and then you would have those deals, and then you would just call them back outside of your work hours and make it happen.
Yes. I would put the deals together actually on the weekends.
You did it? Okay.
I'd get the mail, but I'll tell you, I worked as an investment banker. We bought and sold companies, and I was on the sell side.
Right.
So somebody else would arrange for the fact that this company is for sale, and I would call all these private equity groups and stuff and say, look, we got this company in. Based on the fact that you guys bought these 3 companies recently, this one might make a fit. So I was on the phone a lot. So it was real easy for me to slip away, and I hear a lot of people say this, it's real easy to slip away and for let's say an hour during lunch or whatever, go to the conference room, check the voicemail, see if there's anything good, do some return calls. I don't even remember it ever taking the whole hour.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then I left my job too late, which is highly what I recommend everybody doing, just being real conservative about it and waiting. I probably left my job maybe a year, possibly 2 years later than I should have. Hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. Talk about you knew for an extra year or two that this is definitely going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I was a one-man show, and then I was a one-man show for probably 2 years until I actually hired that first person to do the paperwork and actually return the calls. And yeah, I mean, it's not hard at all. You just explain it to everybody.
Yeah.
We never had any issues at all. I never remember having any. And I worked a lot on the weekends.
You want to hear my story?
Yeah.
Because you know my story, but I was going to share it.
It's better than mine.
I think it's funny because I literally had 2 workstations set up because I worked at a position where I could work from home. So I was in my home office, but I had set hours. So I'm killing it on the phone, sitting there, and I could whip around and have another workstation. I literally had to test my chair. I'd swing my chair around.
That's awesome.
And had all my stuff spread out, everything on a desk right behind me. So you know, talk about taking on and off different hats. I would swing my chair around, and now I'm doing this. So I do work, take a break, whip around. What do I need to do? Oh, I need to set up that notary. I can do that right now. Whip back around, back on the clock, you know, and it was the funniest thing. And I think what's great, like you shared, is pushing it. Don't get overexcited. Yeah, these deals are coming. They're more consistent. You see your bank account going up. Push it. Don't jump the gun. And like you said, Jack, I love that you waited a year or two. I waited a long time too. It was a point where it was like, this is ridiculous. For me, it was, I'm officially losing money, because even when you add up my day job paycheck, and add it in, I'm still losing money because I'm not 100% focused on this. So that's usually what I tell folks. When when you're making more than your day job and you have a lot of consistency, then you can think about that. Still, I don't want anybody to jump the gun. I'd rather you have I should have done it a year ago. I'd rather hear that all day long, because that's fine.
I bought a 40 or an 80 acre property. I can't remember, for $100 an acre, and it doubled my money. It was either $8,000 or $16,000. So, and I had that amount of money. That's what I started with.
Right.
I left my job when I had $560,000 in my checking account.
Yeah.
And so that is not fiction. It happens to our members all the time.
Yeah.
They call Jill and I thanking us, thanking.
Yeah.
And so, whatever, everybody's got a number. I should have, at about 150, I should have said, you know what? I'm good. So, you have that thought like, gosh, what if I spent all my time just buying property and not doing this job?
Right.
And that's after you've done a bunch of deals. You know what you're capable of, the deals that you want. What I hate or something like this. I really don't like selling property. I love buying it. What if I align myself with some people in Land Academy who are all set up to sell property, ding, ding, like us? Mm-hmm. And that's all I do is buy property, and then, they sell it, or I sell it on their venue. I mean, so that solves that. So there's a lot of different ways, because you have a job. This should never stop you because you have a job.
Do you know what I think? I think having a day job, you have a full-time day job, is really actually a benefit in the beginning, because it forces you to get efficient and use your time wisely, and to be picky and not waste a lot of time on deals that you're really not going to, that don't meet your criteria, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So
that's a great way to look at it. And I completely agree. It makes you organized. It gets you efficient. You may be probably going to do stuff and make decisions because you're not thinking about it too much. You're just really doing it. Mm-hmm. Even, you don't
have time to think about it that much.
I've said this on the show 50 times probably. I had an old high school football coach, and he said, if you're going to make a mistake on the field, I want to see you make it at 100 miles an hour. Don't be walking around like Eeyore. Just make a mistake. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just make them big. Make them big and good and fast. And get past it, and do it right the next time.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I hope that helps.
I hope so too.
Yeah. It's not crazy. It's funny. People go, "Oh, I can't do this," and I'm like, "Yeah, you can."
Yeah.
It's really, do you want to do this? And yeah, you're going to have to get good, and you're going to have to get speedy and get creative and efficient. And those are all qualities you want to have as you're starting your business anyway.
Our kids watched us, and still do. Watch us work all the time.
They do.
We have a home office, and we have a real regular office in a commercial building. Sometimes we spend a lot of time in our home offices, and they do stuff for us. They all work for us in some capacity, all three of them.
That's true.
They like it. So if you have kids, don't let that stop you either. That's my point. Get them involved.
Oh yeah, that's true. Kids can go drop stuff off at the post office. Number one,
they can on computers.
Pick up things.
They know Photoshop. I don't know. They're just born knowing Photoshop. These kids.
Isn't that funny? We've had kids help with little, especially in the beginning. You're making your own logo. You're not. I mean, you're just a lot of little things that you're doing on your own. Your kids can help with this, and I think it's kind of cool.
Exactly.
So it's not a bad thing. Gosh, and we laugh about this, but what a good experience. Let's think about this. You teach your kids how to build a website. What's that going to do for them down the road?
Exactly. Everybody learns.
That's good. That's a huge benefit.
If you don't have kids, you're going to have a ton of time. If you don't have kids, you have a regular 40-hour-a-week job. Hopefully you don't have much bills then, or it's, the amount of your bills aren't too high. Now there's no excuse if you're into it.
Exactly.
Hey, this is the Technical 2 minutes of property investment advice from our 15-year, 15,000 transaction experience. If you have a job, a full-time job, I want you to make a plan with a number, and when your bank balance is X, execute the plan. And if you're married or live with people and you have people in your life, share the plan with them. Set aside a bank account, and if the number is, let's say, $100,000, say, I'm going to do this in X amount of deals, I'm going to have $100,000 in the bank, and then I'm going to start the plan to leave the job. But do not, please do not, without ever having done a transaction or without a bunch of money in the bank from this, don't leave your job and then put all kinds of pressure on yourself and stressed out and the whole thing. Get the money first and do the deals first and have a plan and execute it. And do it with enthusiasm, as Jill would say, maybe. If you have a question or you want to be in the show, call 800-725-8816. Jill has some inspiration for us today.
Is it just me, or is the Technical 2 becoming inspirational also? It's kind of funny because my inspiration sounds like your Technical 2. Maybe we'll change them up a little bit because I think that would be funny. But my inspiration is just about staying focused. And where I got this was I keep seeing things I was just looking actually in this Facebook forum that Jack and I are in. It's not ours. It's a guy in our world, our community and stuff. Anyway, he has this Facebook forum that we're in, and I'm watching people post these crazy nebulous things, and I know it's just eating up their time. And I'm like, gosh. And a person just posted something about, hey, I have a buyer who wants fishing property in Northwest U.S. So, gosh, if anybody out there has something, shoot them my way. Talk about eating up your time. I mean, that's great, but
that's a sign to me that they're not going to succeed.
Right,
they're not focused.
And that's my concern. Is like, gosh, everybody, stay focused on whatever it is you're doing. Like Jack and I talk about a lot. It's Jack's thing, really. I'm taking some credit here. Have an acquisition criteria and stick to it, period. And this is another thing. Are you here to drive your customer all over town, or are you here to sell them your property? Maybe that's it too. Why is this person not focused even on their own properties? Why is this person just, hey, I know somebody who wants to buy something? Well, that's great. We all do. So stay focused, use your time wisely, and you'll get there.
Excellent advice. Join us in another episode where Jack and Jill discuss how to use information, that's me,
and inspiration, that's me,
to get just about anything you want.
We use it every day to buy property for half of what it's worth and sell it immediately.
You're not alone in this real estate ambition. Great show, Jill. That focus thing is so important. I'm really glad you brought it up.
I know the guy who just posted that too.
I see it all the time.
I'm like, gosh, why are you guys doing this? And I don't want to call him out and say, thanks, it's a big time waster. I just hope that nobody else goes, oh, I have this, I have that. Because all he's doing is spreading. Those are the kind of buyers we don't want, because they're not really buyers. It's a tire kicker. He's sharing his fabulous tire kicker with everybody, and we all don't want tire kickers. So
yeah, I mean, it so rarely works. Here's the problem: if you just forget about the fact that it's really a time waster, but it is, that type of transaction or that way of doing a deal, the percentages are so low, it's not even worth talking about it.
Right.
It's like when they teach you as a real estate agent. I've heard this. I don't know this for a fact by any stretch, but the most successful real estate agents, the ones that make 6 digits consistently, they get listings. They're experts at getting listings, but they're not experts in any way, and don't even work with buyers.
Mm-hmm.
They just get listing after listing after listing at a reasonable price, and they allow all the other real estate agents in that environment, in their office or not, to go to drive people around and spend all the money and do the fishing hole, whatever that story was that you just said.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a right, focused way to do this, as you said, and there's a messy, silly way.
Well, you know what? I am happy to share something with everyone to save them some time. A long time ago when we started our Platinum Buyers Club, I had people that would come to me and say, hey, I'm on your Platinum Buyers Club. I'm really interested in this state, this state, this state, and this size property in this price range. And I, thinking this was a good thing, actually started to keep track of that. I can show you, Jack. I have a spreadsheet where I really tried to. So when I got those kind of properties in, I would try to send them to those people. Never, ever had it make a difference.
That was my question. Did you ever close a deal?
So that's what I'm trying to save people with this too. So if you think that this is going to work, no, you're just wasting your time. Yeah. I tested it. I tried it. I would literally say, hey, you asked me for, and dream it up, however specific it is. I could say, you asked for these 6 things, and I actually found it finally came across my desk. It has these 6 things. They're going to go, oh gosh, I really thought the mountain was going to be on the north side of the property, not the south side of the property. Whatever it is. You'd be like, all right, you're not serious. And that's really what it is.
The reason our model is so successful is because the people that want to sell their property to us, they decide that on their own. They get a letter from us, like thousands and thousands of other property owners. And then ones that they decide on their own that they want to sell it, and they sign it and send it back, or they call us. It's the same thing on the sell side when we sell it. It's all plastered everywhere on the internet. I mean, overkill. And they decide if they want to buy it, and they click on it and buy it, like they buy a pair of shoes. Mm-hmm. I got a fishing guy. Mm-hmm. In theory, you don't need to talk on the phone at all. I don't. We're lucky because we have some people that do it for us in the office, but not very often. Mm-hmm. It's just, that's our model. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of questions about buying a property. Chances are they're not going to buy it at all. I used to say, are you going to buy this or not?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? And you can think back to yourself, and we all know situations that you've gone down somewhere knowing you're going to buy X. Maybe it's a car. You're going down to a lot, and you've done all your research. You know darn well you're going to buy that car. You're just going to make a difference on getting the price that you want. Yeah. But you've already made it up in your mind. It's the same thing. You're not walking onto a used car lot waiting to be talked into a car. No, you're going there for something specific.
Right.
And that's the same with the buyers.
Well said.
Thank you.
Information and inspiration to buy undervalued property.
We are Jack and Jill, and this was the Cash Flow from Land Show. We are the experts at acquiring property
of all kinds, not just land,
for half price, just so we can flip it for way more.
And really fast. Thanks for listening. Let's go buy some property.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
Landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.